I'm Michael Higgs with the Cincinnati Herald, representing the Black God Project. We're here with GameU. I'm sorry, I was about to mess up the name. Can you guys introduce yourselves and tell us about your game?
Sure. My name is Kamisha Bond. I am the studio manager of one of our locations we have here, and we teach kids how to develop games. Right here is one of our professional instructors, Adam Coleman.
Yep. So I'm Adam Coleman. I worked with EA Games for about 15 years. Basics of what we try to do is try to get kids into video game development, right? It's an up-and-coming industry, and so we teach from the ground up, literally everything from animation to the creation of levels, storyboarding, sound design, programming, 3D modeling, you name it. We go the extra level. We make sure that everything you want to learn or understand or see or do in a video game, like anything in your imagination, you can put to paper, right? And the better part of it is I tell them, this is how I cheat people into math. You got to do some math, you got to do some coding, you got to do some art stuff. It's the STEM field, right? The science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And so we try to really incorporate that into what we do as well as an after-school program. So.
Yep.
It sounds like you put the medicine in the candy, and that's what kids go for. And that's awesome. What inspired you to do this?
Well, me technically, I went to school for business management, and basically I saw GameU from the ground up here in Columbus, Ohio. We're based out of New Jersey, and they came to Powell, Ohio in 2014, so I've seen it go from the bottom up, and we've expanded to 2 locations, almost 3 locations, and I guess the inspiration is kids' education and how far that could be. I mean, I'm loving just to be on the business side of things.
So for me, my inspiration, I worked, like I said, doing video games for quite a long time. I went into the private sector. I worked with military contracts, stuff like that, doing code design. Really missed it, right? Needed to do something to get back into gaming, and I found GameU, again, like Kamisha did here. From the ground up, saw it as a place where kids got to go and learn after school. I never had that. We had to go to that thing called the library, pull a book out to figure out how to code and how to do everything. So I never had an opportunity like that. So I saw it as a chance to, one, just give back, right? I've learned so much from the industry, and there's so much out there for people to get into. And it's such a creative space that I want to nourish that creativity, get people into it more.
That is awesome. Super, super awesome. Basically, what does GDEX mean to you?
So it's about bringing together a lot of the local community here. Central Ohio, the Midwest, really, this is the biggest convention we have for game developers, right? And you have like PAX and South by Southwest down in Texas and stuff like that. We have a lot of conventions, even Boston, right, has PAX East. This is a collection of a lot of the local and Midwestern game developers. And it's hard for the world of corporate to see the Midwest as a cyberspace, right? But it's been cornfields. I'm not trying to knock on Ohio or anything, but that's what we've been seen as is, having agricultural space, right? And we're actually, Columbus itself very burgeoning into tech, right? There's a lot of tech companies here, so it's a way to get our names out and say, hey, the Midwest has got game too, right? I mean, that's what it's all about.
That's super awesome. Basically, it sounds like you really are the first step for someone to get into gaming. But can you expand upon that a little bit more? Like, how can the average kid get into gaming? Like, what's the first step they should do?
Yeah. First step, play a game, right? I mean, that's the easiest way. You're going to get hooked in anyway, right? For me, though, it's always curiosity. Maybe someone's interested in the art style. Maybe it's how did that work? Or maybe the science or the physics behind it, right? So there's always going to be a niche that somebody likes, even if it's just stories. Like if you want to play a game that you enjoy the stories for, right? Maybe it's just storytelling. So you find that niche you like. But as far as getting into it, we use Unity, we use Unreal Engine, we use something called Game Maker, and there are free licenses for those, right? So you can find, Unity has a free license. Now there's some caveats. If you make a game and make money off it, there's royalties, stuff like that. But there are free engines out there to use, right? And so you can start there and literally, we love to teach, and we could take you from the ground up and teach you, but if you're just getting into it, you can even go to YouTube, right? You expand your knowledge base. I think one of the biggest teaching keys that we have is teaching students how to research some of their own questions. And so that's learning, right? So if you want to learn anything, even game design, start looking at some of the stuff online. There are people like me and other game developers out there that just explain in depth game theory and stuff like that. But find one of those engines like Game Maker or Unity. They're free to use. Poke around, play around, free, yeah. And break it. That's the cool thing. It's a very STEM-oriented, science-oriented field, and the thing about science is scientific method. You do something that didn't work, but you're learning something each time. So if they just try, from their mistakes, they're going to start to build something fantastic, right? So
That's super awesome. Definitely super awesome. Well, I have a question also. GameU, what type of games have you created, and where can we find these games?
So we do have a couple web pages. If you go to GameU.com, game-u.com, you'll have a lot of literature and stuff. But we also have kidscode.gameu.com. Okay, and that's where the kids' web pages. I had a summer camp, and they were like week-intensive summer camps. All the games the kids created are on the kids' code page. You can actually show their web page that they coded by hand. They introduce themselves. Hi, I'm Miley. I'm 13. I made this game. You can play it here, and you can literally play the games right off the website. So, yeah, absolutely.
Super awesome. Where can we find you all at? Social media, anything like that? Let us know.
We have a page on Facebook, and we also have a page on IG. And you can just go to our website, www.game-u.com, and you can look on there for all of our locations, every information as far as game nights, things that we're looking to do in the community. That's your place to go.
Awesome. This is Mike. I'm signing off. I'm inspired. You better be inspired too.